Felix here, and something pretty dramatic has just happened to SoFi, and that's the student loan decision of the United States president is out. It's official. Is it good news? Is it bad news? Well, it's a bit of both, and it really depends on whether or not you believe the man. That's really what it comes down to. Before we get into the nitty-gritty here, which we will, go and get this free benchmark. It's completely free, felixfriends.org/23. It'll give you Goldman's top 23 dividend stock benchmark. So get your hands on that, felixfriends.org/23. Of course, none of the following is financial advice. You know that by now if you watch me a lot. This is it. This is the official tweet. That's how we get news nowadays. We get tweets from the president, and the forgiveness is what we want. And let me explain to you why the forgiveness is what we want, because the forgiveness is meant to put an end to the pause, the student loan moratorium. Now, it's extended a final time, and let's talk about that in a second, until the end of the year. Why does this matter? Has SoFi not offset all of this risk? I hear you saying they're no longer really purely a student loan business. They've done all this other marvelous stuff, and they have. They've done an incredible job. But imagine if the student loan moratorium was gone. If students believe they need to pay their student loans back and pay interest on it, they will refinance it. They will go to the cheapest provider. It makes sense. Now, in the fourth quarter of 2021, SoFi generated $1.461 billion in student loan originations. Last quarter, it was $400 million. So the Biden administration cost them here $1 billion in revenue. So if there is an end to this saga, it'll be brilliant news. It's basically like, Christmas and Hanukkah and Easter combined. Why? Because you would imagine that you get essentially the extra $1 billion back on top for one of the future quarters. Now, what would that look like? Well, it would mean we wouldn't get 8.7% growth. No, it would be 60% growth year on year. So that would put a very, very different valuation on the stock. It would make the thing fly off the shelf. So it matters a great deal if we can come out of this basement here of misery. And yeah, they have offset it. They've done a tremendous job. You really must give them that credit for that. But imagine what the business would look like without it. And really, it could probably be a lot more than 1.46 billion, right? It might be 2 billion, at which point, it could be 80% growth year on year or something like that. But that would be an amazing growth story. We'll be back to that. So what does it all come down to? Well, it doesn't really matter how much is forgiven. Now, most of these forgivenesses won't really apply to SoFi students, well, SoFi customers, I should say, because the average SoFi customer has got is earning more than or roughly $175,000, I recall from the last earnings call. So they won't be that affected by this. It doesn't really matter if you get $10,000 or $20,000 less for SoFi. I'm talking here from a stock point of view. I get for students it matters. But if this pause is really extended for a final time, and from 1 January 2023, people will be paying interest again, then the world is a wonderful place for SoFi and SoFi shareholders. So the question is, do you believe politicians when they say final time? It's a little bit like this is a temporary tax, honest. Never believe them on that. And I don't ever really believe them once they get the subsidies out, the social payments out. Very hard to take it back. It's an incredibly unpopular thing to do. So you know what's going to happen? By the end of the year, everybody and their dog will be lobbying for this not to be a final time, but there'll be one more relief measure because we'll be in a recession, or there'll be some sort of a catastrophe. There'll be high energy prices, or there'll be something. Tesla deliveries will be late, and former students are very upset about it. There'll be an excuse. So I'm not celebrating this for that very reason. I'm cautious on these announcements, and the stock market is too. If you look at this, we had a lovely rally pre-market. This is all pre-market here, what I'm putting in red. And then after it was announced, after this thing came out, which was, I'm putting that arrow, the market has sort of tanked a fair bit. We've gone how much down? This is a minute-by-minute chart as I'm recording this. We went down about 4.7% here. So the big rally is kind of fizzled out a little bit, and that's because of this final extension. Nobody really ever believes politicians. I don't think today is a good day to start doing it. So it's not bad news for SoFi. It's just kind of status quo. Potentially, there could be a wonderful upside to this in 1 January, but the can's been kicked down the road for the 15th time or something, as politicians do. So my money is quite frankly on them kicking the can down the road again. I hope I'm wrong on that. I sincerely do, because that would really transform this business and really would make us some money. Now, who is making money? Well, some of my students here. Here's a little story. Andrea, it's not very well written. This is the first screenshot here. This was his week 2 on the program, trading options in paper, I must say. And SoFi is soon going to have options available. So very, very, very much well worth learning. And then in week 3, he posted this. He made 20% over the last 3 weeks, which is absolutely brilliant. He made about $1,400. It was actually $4,000. So this was week 3. And then all 3 weeks together, $4,000 using $20,000. And he's doing this in paper trading, which is really what I recommend to do. Get practicing. Don't get out there and throw your money out, because you will make mistakes, and you want to make these mistakes of paper trading. And this is the present week. He just posted this today, and he's up again very, very nicely. How much is that? 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, something like $600 odd or so, which is absolutely brilliant. If you think about that on a 20K portfolio, 600 over 20,000, that's another 3% for the week, which is just staggeringly wonderful. So huge congratulations to you there. And that's honestly what thrives, what encourages me to keep going with this whole lovely community. And my intention is to not just get Andrea to phenomenal wealth and financial freedom, but to help 100,000 students. We're up to 2,500 so far, so we're just getting started, but we've got some serious plans. So go to felixfranz.org/options, check it out. The coupon code is Build Wealth. That'll give you 41% off on the program, and make sure you get paper trading. So dare I mention another broker on a SoFi video, but Webull has started paper trading, there is Think or Swim, which is also very, very easy to use. If you are outside the Americas, then Interactive Brokers, IBKR as the abbreviation is, will be your bet. All of these offer paper trading, and you really, really want that so you can practice without losing your shirt on silly errors. You want to make the errors on the paper trading, and that way we can help you, we can correct you, we can give you tips and advice in the program. You also get to see me trade live every week. I look forward to doing that on SoFi once that becomes available. There we are. Let me know what you think of the Biden decision. Do you think it will be the end of the moratorium, or do you think they're going to keep kicking the can down the road? I think that's what it all comes down to. I genuinely appreciate you watching. Thanks very much, and see you on the next one.